and welcome to my TV show recaps. I do weekly reviews on scripted shows, reality TV, and trending topics. If you're interested, please click the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all at my TV show recaps. After a long wait, The Real Housewives of Atlanta is finally back, and I'm very excited to see what this new season is going to bring. We open up with Kenya practicing for the Dancing with the Stars competition that she has joined. I actually never watched her on Dancing with the Stars, so I don't know how far she went on the show. A lot of people say that she actually did pretty good, and I'm happy for her. We're not even 5 minutes into the show, and Kenya is speaking on how ashy her feet is, and we hear Portia's infamous "Bye Ashy" line. I know that the Portia fans are probably screaming and jumping for joy, saying that this is Portia's impact, which is true, but Portia is currently not on the show, so we're just gonna have to wait till when she decides to come back on the show to speak on her. Kenya is sort of gushing and flirting with her dance partner. She's kind of saying that he's cute. To me, it's kind of cringy when Kenya flirts with a man on TV. Even though I am a Kenya fan and I was part of the team Twirl, it sort of makes me uncomfortable seeing her flirt on TV. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm more used to seeing Kenya being diabolical, so her kind of trying to switch up is sort of new to me. Candy then sort of comes in and Marlo comes in dressed up as Kenya. I guess she's paying homage to one of Kenya's costumes on Dancing with the Stars. And I think it was cute to kind of show out for your friend and support. I think that was a very cute move by Marlo. So we see Marlo getting her first confessional as a housewife. And the producer, she was kind of like introducing herself, and the producer says, "Marlo, we already know you." And I was like, yes, Marlo has been on this show on and off for about 10 to 11 years. She's been here for a long time, and her peach is definitely overdue. So we get Marlo in the scene talking to Kenya and Candy, and she tells us that she has a hair transplant. And the producers flash back to her 3 years ago and sort of showed her edges. Now, to me, currently, Marlo is wearing a wig, and I'm kind of curious how that works. Are you supposed to wear a wig soon after you just got a hair transplant surgery done? Marlo actually says that she went to the same person that did Drew's hair transplant, and I'm like, all these women wear wigs. Are you supposed to be gluing down your edges if you had hair transplanted to that section? I mean, isn't the glue going to rip your edges out again? Because you see, all I see here is lace and glue. I don't actually see any new growth edges. So the ladies sit down and they get to talking, and I guess Marlo has a boyfriend that she's seeing, and she's like, look, I don't even know what this guy does for a living, so I'm not sure if this is serious. And Candy says no one knows what you do either, which is kind of true. We still don't know what Marlo does after about a decade of knowing her on our TV screens. But at this point, do we really care? Does it really matter? Comment down below. So Marlo says she actually runs La Archive, which is sort of like a showroom, like Rent the Runway, where people can come in and rent some of her old clothes. To me, this business model really doesn't make sense. This is a scheme set up by Todd, because I don't know how she's making money off of renting her own clothes to people. So this is where she takes the opportunity to say that she has been planning a gala for her La Archive store, and that she really wants to invite the girls so that they can really get a first-hand feel of what she does for a living. And the girls seem pretty excited to know that an event is coming on pretty soon. So Sheree walks in, and really all I can remember from her scene is her saying Tyrone is home. At this point, I was kind of tired of them showing this particular scene because they had been in the same spot for about like 10 minutes of the show. She also says her and Tyrone are currently not having sex. I'm just like, girl, just be gone with this storyline. I don't care. Next, we see Marlo in full Monty mode, waking up her nephews for school. I actually think that Marlo is doing a pretty good job taking care of her nephews, and I commend her for that. So next we see Drew. I have to say I'm surprised that she survived her first season of this show, but here she is with her mango-headed husband on their way to work out. So they're actually going to go work out with Sonia. Now, if you watch the Olympics, Sonia needs no introduction. So this is where Drew introduces Drop It by Drew, which is a fitness line that also includes a meal prep kit. My thing is, when I think fitness, I don't think of Drew. So I don't know how this is going to be a good business venture for her, because clearly I don't think she can market the results of her program because she's not that fit. So we get the guys tossing ball and just kind of having a casual conversation. And this is where Ralph drops, I guess, him and Drew's plot line for the season, which is his marriage. So apparently he has this assistant that is texting him. I'm just like, Drew and Ralph are such actors. It's so painful. I mean, they should be in a Tyler Perry production because they're so corny with their little marriage plotline drama they always bring each season. This is where we also find out that Sonia and her husband have been married for 20 years, which is a long time in today's world. So the next scene, we get this beautiful model bringing over a computer to everyone's homes. And I guess it's an invite to Marlo's archive gala that she's going to be having. So the model is so stunning and I really loved her pink dress. Anyway, so she gets to Kenya's house and she opens the computer, the video plays, and Kenya proceeds to drag the video and says, "Oh, this is cheap, blah, blah, blah." And the girl's just standing there like, "Ma'am, I'm just trying to do my job. Please, I don't need this extra commentary you're trying to give." And to me, it was kind of unneeded and came off haterish. So next we move on to Sonia and her really beautiful family. She's lived in Atlanta for about a year now, and I guess her parents live sort of close by or they're visiting. I don't know. But all I can say is her confessional look is very beautiful. I really love this her yellow top, and her hair is actually pretty nice. I like the sort of leave out natural sew in she's got on. So her husband, and her mom and dad get to talking, and I guess her and her husband are thinking of having another baby, but she's sort of not down to have another kid, and he really wants a daughter. Side note, I'm kind of tired of these husbands demanding that their wives have daughters. Like, bruh, you need to chill. So we cut to Drew and her lace front doing a tasting for her meal prep line that she's coming out with. So as people come in, her assistant offers them a shot, which I think is nice. I mean, they get first taste of the product. So Drew's kind of doing a good job promoting her brand. I think she's learned from Candy. So Candy walks in and Drew's assistant turns on the acting. I mean, he was doing the most. I mean, but it makes sense because he's Drew's assistant, and Drew herself is a plotline queen. So I wouldn't be surprised that her assistant is out here trying to steal the show and steal the scene from everyone else. So Drew is telling the ladies how she lost 25 pounds with Drop It with Drew. And I was like, a girl, like when the producers flashed the before and after pictures, I didn't see any 25 pounds loss. Maybe she had a big wig on when she measured herself on the scale, but she looked the same to me. So yeah. So Wreck-It Ralph comes into the kitchen just to make sure that him and Drew are on the same page about this storyline that they're both trying to sell. So they're talking about like the inappropriate text messages between this assistant and Wreck-It Ralph himself. So Wreck-It Ralph decides to say that he doesn't think it was appropriate, the massage text, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's an obvious storyline, but we're just gonna have to go with it this whole season because I know they're gonna beat this over our heads. So next we have Marlo on the day of her event wearing a tube top and a fur hat for some reason. I'm like, girl, is it cold or is it hot? Make a decision. Sonia arrives to the event and I tell you, she's asking all the right questions. Where are these clothes from? How is she making money? What is the profitability rate? Like, it's just not making sense. It's giving booster fashion. And then the camera pans to this dress and says, "Oh, this is JLo's actual dress that she wore at the Grammys in the 2000s. And I was like, I'm gonna need someone to verify this for me. How does Marlo have JLo's dress that she wore at the the Grammys from the 2000s. It makes no sense. Sheree comes in wearing a sweater dress, which I shouldn't be surprised by because Sheree just cannot dress. Kenya comes in looking so beautiful in this white dress. If there's one thing Kenya's gonna do, she's going to serve you a We also get this scene where Kenya and Drew are sort of making up. Drew is kind of apologizing to Kenya for everything that transpired last season. To me, this is a solid move from Drew. Drew is trying to stay on the show for as long as she can, and now that Portia's gone, she's trying to get attached to the next queen bee, which would be Kenya. Marlo finally arrives to her own event about 2 hours late. When she gets there, Sonia instantly asks her, "So are these clothes yours or are they rented? What's going on?" I was like, yes, Sonia is really a good fit for this show. So as Mallory is going on and on about her clothes, Candy's doing the business math. She sort of knows that this makes no sense. I mean, it makes no sense to me either. It's like, why rent from Marlo when you can just rent from Rent the Runway, which is an actual brand that has various designer clothes. So as the party proceeds, I'm kind of noticing that they actually have no food. All Marlo has catered for are hors d'oeuvres, which is kind of cheap to me. If you're gonna call something a gala, I expect at least a 3-course meal. Marlo comes out in this red dress that is too tight and too short, and I just think it's a fashion miss. So Sonia goes to meet Marlo and actually tells her what the girls have been saying, that, there is no food, where are the models, kind of like the event, isn't given what it's supposed to give, and Marlo gets angry. So Marla goes to the ladies to tell them how hurt she is by what she just heard. So I actually think that this is when Marlo and Kenya's relationship begins to go south. This first season, first episode was actually pretty good and I really enjoyed it. I like that the ladies came with no egos and they were ready to film. I can't wait till more episodes come out and the season progresses. So please tell me what you think below and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment below, and subscribe to the channel.